Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Madridista Notes. Today, I'm going to be previewing the match against RB Leipzig in the Champions League round of 16 second leg. Tonight, we have some matches in the Champions League: Lazio versus Bayern Munich, and the other one is Manchester City versus Copenhagen. So these are going to be some interesting matches, mostly the Lazio versus Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich recently haven't been in great form. Lazio has a lead from the first leg. They're coming with a lead to the Allianz Arena. So it will be a fascinating match to watch, and I'm definitely going to watch this. But as a Real Madrid fan, what we are, of course, concentrating on after the really disappointing finish and unfair finish to the match at the on the weekend against Valencia. We are looking forward to move on, and what better place to move on than the Champions League against RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig is a team who have recently been playing in the Champions League quite often, and we have seen them playing in the round of 16 last season against Manchester City. They did more or less well enough in the first leg at home, just like they did at home against Real Madrid, how we played. And it wasn't our best match, but RB Leipzig gave us a real good match, to be honest. But at the end, we came away with a 1-0 win, so we have the advantage. We have the home advantage in the second leg, and I'm looking forward to a really interesting match. As as long as the team news goes, the team news is, to be honest, in our favor. After a long time, we have our fit center backs fit. We have both Nacho and Rudiger fit. So Chouameni most probably won't have to fit in the center back position. To be honest, I would prefer Chouameni to be playing alongside Rudiger than Nacho. Nacho hasn't really shown anything to us when he has been given the starting position. Whenever he has played, he hasn't really been in great form. He hasn't really been stable. He hasn't really been um, a rock at the back. Nacho hasn't been the reliable Nacho that we know him as. So it's a little bit, I know, unfair to just put him on the bench when he is the natural center back and play Chouameni as the partner to Rudiger. But I think Chouameni and Rudiger right now are our best center back partnership. As of course, as the right back, we have Carvajal fit, so he will start. As the left back, I think Carlo Ancelotti will go with Ferland Mendy, because Carlo Ancelotti is a fan of Ferland Mendy. Even though we are looking to sign Alphonso Davies, whatever report we are seeing, we are noticing that Carlo Ancelotti is requesting the board to keep Ferland Mendy even if we sign Alphonso Davies. So if Carlo Ancelotti gets his wish, most probably it will be Fran Garcia who will be sold. So for this match, I am sure that Carlo Ancelotti is going to keep his faith on Farlan Mendy for the left back position. For the midfield, that's where it gets a little bit tricky now, because we have all our midfielders firing, and to be honest, fit. In the last match against Valencia, I wasn't really impressed with the performance of Tony Cruz, and I felt like Modric should be given the starting position for this match, because Tony Cruz has been the mainstay for in our starting 11 more often than not, and I'm guessing that maybe he could use a little bit of time away from the first 11. So for this match, I would go for Modric in midfield, and between Chouameni, as I am advocating for Chouameni to be played as the center back in the center back partnership with Rudiger, I would play Kamavinga as our defensive midfielder, because other than Chouameni, only Kamavinga in our squad can play in that number six role. So that would be my pick for the number six role, Camavinga, Eduardo Camavinga in that number six role. And then, of course, Fede Valverde is the obvious choice for the other number eight role. So for the midfield, I would go for Camavinga, Modric, and Valverde. And for attack, of course, Bellingham is, of course, our midfielder, but he's the number 10. And more often than not, he crashes into the box and he has such great IQ and positioning sense that he occupies the position where a striker is supposed to occupy, but he doesn't occupy that position all the time. So whenever he comes and occupies that position, sometimes the center backs are a little bit not ready or a little bit not expecting him, or even though they're expecting him, they are not really tracking his runs from deep from the midfield. So he has that surprising effect, and that's why he has been scoring lots of goals for Real Madrid. And I think that Carlo Ancelotti is, of course, going to continue with that setup. So I can see that Jude Bellingham is, of course, going to play as the number 10. And for the two forward positions, Rodrigo hasn't been really in form recent times, but it's the Champions League, and Rodrigo always delivers whenever it's the Champions League. So for the forward roles, of course, we have to go with Vinicius and Rodrigo, and I think that will be the team um, for the match against RB Leipzig. The only change I could see is if Nacho comes back into the starting 11 alongside Rudiger, and Carlo Ancelotti prefers to go with Chouameni as the defensive midfielder, and maybe he would like to keep Cruz in the starting 11. That could happen, but I think that would, I don't know. I feel like Chouameni and Rudiger should be our center back duo whenever we are at least playing in the Champions League knockout rounds, because Nacho has been more or less shaky. He hasn't been really reliable. He has been making lots of mistakes during in-game. He hasn't been tracking the runs. He has been sometimes caught ball watching or trying to be aggressive but losing his man. Then it's a bit chaotic whenever Nacho is playing as the center back. And I would really prefer Nacho to be the backup for now until Militao, because we are seeing Militao is back with the team training. I think he will start playing from April, middle of April, somewhere around that time. So until that time, I would be keeping Chouameni in the center back role, even though Chouameni doesn't like to play that role. But I think that's our strongest center back pairing right now. And on to some other news, and that news is, of course, around Alphonso Davies. There are reports right now that Alphonso Davies would like to come to Real Madrid this summer window, and Real Madrid are prepared to negotiate with Bayern Munich up to 50 million euros. That's our margin point. I think that's the price point that Real Madrid will go as high as possible, is for 50 million euros. Bayern Munich is also looking for other to plug that gap with other players. They are looking into Theo Hernandez from AC Milan, and they are looking into Miguel Gutierrez, former Castilla player who is right now playing for Girona. I'm a really big fan of both of these players, Theo Hernandez and Miguel Gutierrez. I haven't really seen Alphonso Davies play much because I don't really follow the Bundesliga, so I wouldn't really make much of a comment on Alphonso Davies. Whatever people hype him in the social medias and stuff, but Bayern Munich fans have been saying that in recent times, for the last couple of years, Alphonso Davies hasn't been informed. But whenever we have gone to shop in Bayern Munich, I think we have got A plus products. We have been Chronic Rus has been a magnificent signing from for us from Bayern Munich. And I remember when we bought him, Bayern Munich fans were saying some not so good stuff about him. And then when we were bringing David Alaba, who was not signing a new contract with Bayern Munich and who was a free agent, I remember Bayern Munich fans saying a lot of stuff, not really positive stuff about David Alaba too. So on this case, when they're again saying the same stuff about Alphonso Davies, not in good form, he has liabilities. He's a liability in defense. We have played with liabilities in defense in fullback position before, but he was such a great left back, such a world class left back that those defensive errors, liabilities were covered up because of his contribution to the team. And of course, I'm talking about Marcelo. So if Alfonso Davies even replicates even half of the ability that Marcelo replicated, and he keeps his head in the game and keeps himself fit, I think he will be a great signing for Real Madrid. But of course, we already have, I think, good enough backups with Falan Mendy and Miguel and Fran Garcia. The other position, I think Real Madrid are not really looking to strengthen this season. We are hearing reports that Real Madrid are offering Lucas Vazquez a 1 year contract extension. So from looking from the outside, it looks like we want to bring in Hakimi. There are reports coming out that Real Madrid management really likes Hakimi, and we are not going to pursue this deal for the 2024 summer window, but we will pursue this deal for the 2025 summer window. So for the next season, I'm thinking that Real Madrid board wants to continue with Lucas Vazquez and Dani Carvajal for one more season. And I think our midfield is totally stacked, totally perfect right now. I don't think we need any more additions. And if Kylian Mbappe is coming, we are not sure yet because there is no confirmation of official confirmation, but all the reports are saying he's coming. And of course, Enrique is coming to Real Madrid too. With those two players, our attack is totally complete. So that leaves us with the center back dilemma. With two players coming back from long-term ACL injuries in David Alaba and Militao, I think we should go into the market, at the very least bring Rafa Marin back, even if we don't want to splash on Lenny Yoro from Lille. We have been hearing reports that Real Madrid are following that player from Lille, Lenny Yoro, but there is reports that PSG are too much advanced in that deal and that he prefers PSG or whatever, and that we are even offering extension to Nacho. And that one I don't really get. Why are we offering that contract extension to Nacho? Because Nacho has been showing that he is declining. He is not getting any younger. I think even if we don't want to splash any money in the market for the center back position for next year, we should definitely not extend Nacho and bring back Rafa Marin, who is right now on loan to Alaves. So I think that would really, oh yeah, there is another contract extension that we are offering, and that's Andre Lunin. We should definitely wrap that deal up. He is going to be a world-class goalkeeper in future, and we don't know how Thibaut Courtois is going to come back after his ACL injury. So we should wrap that deal up as soon as possible. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. Let's enjoy the Lazio versus Bayern Munich match, which is going to start right now. See you next time. Hala Madrid.